Welcome back again. Pi, also known as Pharaoh Piankhi, was a ruler of Kush during the Napatan era. He would establish the groundwork for Egypt's 25th dynasty from 747 to 656 BCE. Pi would gain control over Upper Egypt within the initial years of his reign. He would invade Egypt from the south and ended the petty kingdoms of the 23rd dynasty in Lower Egypt. According to Egyptian tradition, his brother Shabaka founded the 25th dynasty, but Pi laid the foundations. I want to make this clear. Upper and Lower Egypt, or modern-day Sudan and Egypt, were rooted in the Nubian culture and then the Kushites of modern-day North and East Africa. Egypt as an empire lasted thousands of years, with many groups who invaded from the Middle East and Europe. Many people believe that the Egyptians and Nubians were two different people, or it was racial, when in fact Egyptian and Nubians were one and the same at many times of non-invasion. Other North African tribes, over time, would rule Egypt as well. The only difference was different kingdoms, war, and beliefs over time. The ancient pharaohs would always move to the south in Kush to regroup to take Egypt back over when invaders from Europe or the Middle East would come. Remember, all the people in certain countries are not the original that used to be there. Pi's sister, Amenartis I, was adopted by Shepenwepet I as the next wife of the god named Amun. This action would help acquire Theban territories previously under Asarkhan III's control. Pi's sister, a priest, was so powerful that sometimes she had more control than the pharaoh did. The ancient Egyptians believed that the state and religion were one and the same. This would give her much power, and also the power of being the god of Amun's wife. The belief of Egyptian god Amun was strongly entrenched among the Kushites and a threat by Tefnakti. Amun was received as a national god. He was represented in human form, sometimes with a ram's head, or as a ram, was worshipped as part of the Theban triad. This Theban triad, which included a goddess named Mut and a youthful god named Kunz. Tefnakti, a Libyan chieftain of the Nile Delta, part of Amun's homeland in Upper Egypt, would provoke Pi to move northward. Following a ritual visit to Thebes, Pi's forces met the Libyans' river fleet and defeated it. In 728 BCE, Tefnakti, Prince of Sais, formed an alliance with Delta rulers to counter the rising Nubian influence. Pharaoh Pi countered by moving northwards, defeating the coalition as depicted on his victory stela. They then vanquished a land army near Hermopolapius in Middle Egypt and advanced to take Hermopolapius, another Middle Egyptian stronghold of the Libyans, and Memphis, Egypt's ancient capital. Pi received the submission of several Delta rulers, and later of the last representative of the 23rd dynasty. He then invaded the Delta, where more local rulers surrendered. Finally, Tefnakti sent a message of submission, and Pharaoh Pi sent an emissary to obtain his oath of and his faithfulness to Pi. After some final submissions by holdouts, Pharaoh Piye sailed home to Mount Barkal, or Pure Mountain, with the spoils of his venture. Pyramid Ko, dating back to the 4th century BCE, situated at El Kuru, south of Jebel Barkal, North Sudan, served as a testament to Piye's reign. Upon Piye's death in 716 BCE, after his 30-year rule, he was entered in a pyramid tomb at El Kuru, accompanied by prized Nubian horses. His brother Shabaka, who ruled from 716 to 702 BCE, succeeded him. He would reconquer Egypt and assume full pharaonic titles, solidifying his rule over the entire Egypt. An Egyptian textile, possibly donated by Pharaoh Piye, features inscriptions detailing the king's titles and a fragmented year date, possibly indicating the zenith of Pharaoh Piye's reign. A massive bronze door hinge would be inscribed with the names of the god's wives of Amun. Amenartis I and Shepenwepet II underscores the Kushite royal family's influence. Pharaoh Piye's sister, Amenartis I, strategically placed in the religious office, ensured control over southern Egypt from Thebes. The deliberate erasure of Pharaoh Piye's name from the central cartouche, or carved tablet, likely occurred during the 26th dynasty reign, reflecting the rule of other tribes. Pharaoh Piye's aspirations, as depicted on his commemorative stela, aimed to restore Egypt's former glory under Kushite rule. However, this involvement in Palestinian affairs drew the attention of the Assyrian Empire. During this time with King Taharqa from 690 to 664 BC, and briefly after to Pharaoh Tenutamun in 664 to 656 BCE. Early Kushite kings, including Taharqa, were buried in pyramids on stone platforms, incorporating both Kushite and Egyptian burial traditions. Taharqa introduced Egyptian elements like mummification, Egyptian-style coffins, sarcophagi, and Shabbati figures, reflecting a fusion of cultures during Kushite rule. Please like, subscribe, turn on the bell notification, add me on all social medias, which is African Network, and until next time, peace, one love.